Hi everyone, welcome to the latest Corgi range announcement, featuring products due to arrive between May and August this year. This announcement heavily features Aviation Archive and Vanguards items, with some really big items being revealed, so without further delay, let's jump straight in. In the Aviation Archive range, we have the final items in our D-Day 80th collection, some returning American favourites, and one of the most requested aircraft liveries in recent memory finally joining the range. Starting with our D-Day and Overlord models, we have a new Hawker Typhoon joining the range, and this one is long overdue as it represents one of the aircraft piloted by John Robert Baldwin, the highest scoring ace in the type. We've never produced a model of one of Baldwin's planes, and this was definitely something I wanted to correct. He flew this aircraft in the weeks after the Allied landings, and had multiple Typhoons fitted out for different attack roles. This one is armed for rocket strafing runs. Next up, we have a new Westland Lysander that was operated by RAF No. 161 Squadron A-Flight in the weeks after D-Day, transporting and collecting SOE agents deep behind enemy lines. This example was highly unusual as it featured wraparound invasion stripes on the rear fuselage. And we'll be expecting the arrival of our much anticipated new tool of the Martin B-26 Marauder soon as well. This is the painted pre-production sample and still subject to change, but as you can see it is looking like an Aviation Archive classic in the making already. This first release represents Dynamite, the lead aircraft of the final bombing run on Utah Beach on June 6, 1944. Sticking with American medium bombers and moving to the Pacific, we have a new release of our popular B-25 Mitchell tooling with this B-25D from the 498th Bomber Squadron of the 345th Bomb Group, otherwise known as the Falcons. The nose art of this squadron was some of the most flamboyant of the entire Pacific theatre, and this aircraft represents Red Wrath, as flown by Lieutenant Colonel Clifton L. True. Now, returning to the Aviation Archive range for the first time in 12 years, I'm really thrilled to reintroduce the P-47 Thunderbolt. This new release is a really special story that deserves to be told, as the model represents a P-47D named Dottie May, the final Allied aircraft lost during the Second World War in Europe. The plane crashed in an Austrian lake on the final day of the war, but was recovered in the early 2000s, and, having been fully restored, today flies once again on the US airshow circuit in her original markings. A story like this feels like digging up some buried treasure, and I'm so pleased to bring this iconic aircraft type back to the range in such fine form. And now the big one, as at long last, it's time for Blackjack. Do I need to say much more? Just look at this model. Okay, I better say some more, as that's what I'm here for ultimately. Ever since we announced the new 148 scale Eurofighter Typhoon tooling, and this aircraft arrived on the airshow circuit, we've been positively inundated with requests for a model of delivery, and I'm really very pleased to finally be able to deliver. As we're expecting this model to be very popular, it will also be an open edition, and it's due to land after July. Moving on to Vanguards, we have a clutch of new Ford releases and some other returning classics as well. I'm really delighted to announce the first complete Ford Capri triple pack in the Vanguards range. This is the Ford Capri Sporting Trilogy, featuring one of each mark of this legendary car family for the very first time, including our newly tooled Capri Mark II in the eye-catching black GTS livery that is only available in this set. We also have another Capri Mark II coming in solo form, this time in the X-Pack body configuration in a striking signal orange. Our Ford Cortina Mark V tooling is also back as a Gia S in solar gold with a black roof. All of our previous Cortina Mark V releases are sold out, so this one will probably not hang around for long at all. Another quick sellout on release was our first Ford Focus Mark III RS, and now we have two more joining the range. The first is an unusual police demonstrator vehicle that was prepared by Ford and sent around 10 police forces nationwide, while the second is in the much requested Shadow Black. The Ford Mustang is also back with two new liveries, a GT Fastback in Race Red and a Mach 1 in Grabber Yellow. Both of these cars form part of Ford's press fleet and had nationwide media exposure, including appearances on Top Gear. Moving on from Ford vehicles, the return of the Rover 75 to the range earlier this year proved extremely popular, so we're back with another Rover in quick succession. This Rover 3500 SD1 is presented in a Porto Red and is another of the missing colours that we have yet to produce for this car. And finally, we have the Jaguar XJ6 Series 1 returning to the Vanguards range for the first time since 2007. This example has a highly unusual red leather interior and has just gone on display at the County Classics Motor Museum. It's also owned by one of our excellent and very dedicated researchers. Moving on to TV and film, we have the second addition to our Screen Stars collection. The range, where the car is the star. This new twin pack uses the Vanguards tooling of our brand new Ford Capri Mark II in Strato Silver and the X-Pack body type, and a Ford Granada Mark II in Jupiter Red. Both cars are presented in our special premium Screen Stars packaging. Lastly, for our new announcements, we're celebrating the 60th anniversary of the classic James Bond film with the return of Goldfinger's iconic Rolls-Royce to the range, this time presented in our premium James Bond collection packaging. And staying with Goldfinger, I announced this one in January, but I'm delighted to finally bring you a first look at the first model sample. This is the classic Corgi 261 Aston Martin DB5 in silver birch paint for the very first time, and at risk of losing the baddie, I'll give the ejector seat a try on it. Well, he's on the floor, but what can you do? At least it's not under the carpet. That's it for this range of Corgi announcements. I'll be back later this year with our September announcements, but make sure to stay tuned to our YouTube and social media channels for some further surprises to come. Thanks for watching.